Like and subscribe on the way in the door, people. Today, I'm doing a video request by another viewer. Shout out to William S. Kane. And he wanted to know if I think any of LeBron's championship teams could beat any of Michael Jordan's championship teams. My first reaction is absolutely not. But let's talk about this a little bit. First of all, well, let me first say this. Without a doubt, I believe that none of LeBron's championship teams could have a chance against the 96 and 97 Bulls. That's out of the question. and then I'm gonna say LeBron's bubble ring team couldn't beat any of the Chicago Bulls championship teams as well. But if there was a chance that any of his teams could beat any of the Chicago Bulls teams, I would say his best chance would be against the first championship team in 91 and Michael's last championship team in 98. And I say that because in 91, they hadn't won yet, so they were still figuring things out. So, I would say, to me, after Michael won that first championship, he kind of became invincible. So I would give him a chance against the 91 team. Now, the 98 team, I would give him a chance against because everybody was kind of declining at that point. And Michael really carried that team. Rodman, Pippen, and Harper was on the decline at that point. So, if I was going to give him a chance against any of his teams, it would be those two teams. But so let's get into this. Let's first talk about, I'm going to try to explain this without using stats. Let's first talk about the mindset and leadership. To me, this is the biggest thing. First of all, you are dealing with the most consistent superstar in basketball history, I believe, in Michael Jordan. And you're dealing with the least consistent star in basketball history in LeBron James. And to me, that also transfers to the team. That mindset, leadership transfer to the team. So to me, Michael Jordan's teams are the most consistent as well. Whereas LeBron James' teams, do we even have to say, besides the fact that he doesn't stay with a team for very long at all, while he's there is major inconsistencies in those teams. And then the other thing I want to talk about is this. I think, for the sake of LeBron James, people in the media and analysts tend to underestimate the things that you can't quantify, like mentality. When I think mentality is the biggest factor behind the success. Michael Jordan and that killer mentality he had against LeBron James, who wants to be friends with everybody. I can't even say he wants to be friends with everybody, but he wants everybody to like him and praise him, so to speak. These mentalities are going to play a huge factor. They've played a huge factor in both of these guys' careers. And to me, this is going to play a huge factor in the outcome of these games. Something that I was thinking about the other day. When people are interviewed, when his peers, or not even just his peers, but, when analysts and journalists are talking about Michael Jordan and his game, it almost never fails to come up his killer mentality. His mentality, his competitiveness. To me, these are things that are just synonymous with Jordan. These are things that never come up with LeBron James. This is a problem, and this is going to be a problem in these matchups. When people talk about LeBron James, they talk about, oh, he's an all-around basketball player, and high basketball IQ, which is not really true to me. But the talk around LeBron James is never his competitiveness. Like, that is not the headline about LeBron. That's a problem when you're going up against Michael Jordan. So let's talk about this. Just right off the surface, it's hard to go against Michael Jordan, right? In any scenario. People talk about Michael potentially losing against the Houston Rockets had he not retired. But to me, it's, you're taking a big risk on that, given that Michael is 6-0 in the finals, given that his win percentage in the finals is 100%, right? It's hard to bet against that. And then we go to LeBron James, whose winning percentage is 40%. It's hard to put your money on a 40% chance of winning. So what you got is a guy who's 40% in the finals going up against a guy who's 100% in the finals. You got a guy who's the most inconsistent superstar going up against a guy who's the most consistent superstar. You got a guy who's talked about in terms of all-around basketball player, high IQ, which is, again, to me, is false. At least overblown. I'll say that. Very overblown. Going up against a guy who the talk around him is killer mentality and competitiveness. And then you're going up against a guy who is, not top 5 to me, against the greatest player of all time. So the only team of LeBron James that I think has a chance to beat those two teams I mentioned, the 91 Bulls or the 98 Bulls, would be LeBron James' Miami team. And I think the obvious reason is, to me, those were LeBron James' best years because of being coached by Eric Spoelstra, because he had D. Wade on the team, who was already a champion, because he had Chris Bosh, and when Ray Allen joined the team, I think that is a pretty strong core. And I think, D. Wade would kind of be leading the charge if they were to beat the Bulls. So let's talk about the key matchups a little bit. So you have Pippen guarding LeBron. Pippen guarding LeBron, I feel like there's this narrative of that LeBron would be great in the 90s. And again, I've said this in another video. You got to think, LeBron's 27 per game that he's averaging in this era is gonna drop, I would say, by 3 to 4 points in the 90s. That 27 is gonna turn into, I say between 22 and 24 points, roughly. That's gonna drop in the 90s. There was tougher defense. There weren't as many points available. And you take Scottie Pippen on LeBron James, I think it's gonna be rough on LeBron. I know a lot of people think LeBron can just power his way, but however, LeBron is mentally weak. Like, I think once LeBron, is easily frustrated, and once you get LeBron frustrated, he's out the game. This is the problem with any of you fanboys who think LeBron could compete with Michael Jordan. This is the problem. Once LeBron gets a taste of that Chicago defense, once LeBron gets a taste of, first of all, Pippen is long. Pippen is long. Pippen is quick enough. Pippen has those long strides, and he's a relentless defender. And Chicago plays great help defense, with Jordan and Horace Grant and, Yeah. So Pippen is gonna make it hell for LeBron. I know a lot of y'all fanboys don't think so, but Pippen would make it a hard day for LeBron, especially Pippen. You know, like I said, and some of those double teams coming, and you know, just the way Chicago played defense, that they're gonna take LeBron mentally out of the game. And once that happens, it's really gonna be up to D Wade to carry everything. You know, and the D Wade in Miami wasn't quite championship D Wade. So, and not to mention, we're talking about Michael Jordan against D Wade. Do we have to say anything else? Do we have to say anything else? Michael Jordan against D Wade. Chris Bosh versus Horace Grant. You know, and I'm gonna give the edge to Horace Grant. And I tell you why. Because I think, again, it goes back to leadership. Michael Jordan setting the tone for that team as a leader. You know, you have a team full of relentless competitors. You know, the role players take on the mentality of the leader. And, you know, if LeBron James is the leader of the Miami Heat, you're not standing on a good foundation there. So, yeah, I'm going to give the edge to Horace Grant because, like I said, to me, he's being fed by that relentless nature that Jordan spread throughout the rest of his teammates. And outside of those matchups, you know, I think, you know, Ray Allen obviously would be a contributing factor, but I don't know if he's going to be enough to overpower Jordan and Pippen. You know, Jordan was averaging 31 points a game in that 91 finals. And Pippen was averaging close to 18 points a game in that 91 finals. So, and then Horace Grant was averaging about 13 points. About 13 points and a little over 8 rebounds. So, yeah, you know, if there's any hope for LeBron to beat a Jordan team, I would say that is his Miami team versus the 91 Bulls is a possibility. If there's a chance in hell for it to happen. If it's a chance in hell, there's your chance, fanboys. And then, like I said, the 98 Bulls, because everybody was kind of wearing down at that point, and Jordan really was carrying that whole team. Now, I said this at the beginning, but let's talk a little bit about the 96 and 97 Bulls. The 96 and 97 Bulls would dog walk every last one of LeBron James championship teams. I'm gonna go ahead and say this, fanboys. There is no LeBron James-led team that could compete with either one of those teams. I mean, look, so let me say this. Because a lot of people, you know, to me is overblowing this 3-1 comeback on the Warriors. That particular Warriors team, that was a pretty even matchup. So the fact that he even got down 3-1, to me just, you know, again, that's an indictment on LeBron. But even let's go to when the Warriors added KD. A lot of people think that, you know, that's just this unbeatable team. Based on KD's performance when the refs allowed the Celtics just to be a little physical with him, he got derailed. So to me, that, you know, trying to put, I do not hold the Warriors team with KD in the same regard as I hold, especially the 96 Bulls, but even the 97 Bulls. To me, that is a whole different entity that I think people do not appreciate, and I think it's a recency bias. You know, I think it's all the narratives about modern players being more skilled and all that has people really fooled into thinking some things that aren't true. But I'm going to tell you something. I think the 96 Bulls is dog walking those Warriors teams. Like it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be some close competitive game like people think. Like, because we're talking about today in general, modern superstars are just not as mentally tough. And then you're talking about perhaps the most mentally tough team that existed in the 96 and 97 Bulls. That team was a monster. And then not to mention the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Ron Harper on defense, putting pressure on guards. Like, some of the stuff they was doing to guards is just, it made me uncomfortable to watch. Like the hounding, relentless attack defense, full court presses that they would put on some of these guards. It was uncomfortable to watch. Like, as someone who plays basketball, like, you know, it makes you think, man, I'm glad I'm not that point guard. I'm glad I do not have to deal with that. So, yeah, I said all that to say that those 96 and 97 Bulls teams would obliterate any LeBron James team that you could put together. Any LeBron James led team that you could put together is getting obliterated by those 96 and 97 Bulls. But anyway, this video's gone on long enough. But yeah, that's my answer. I think if there was a chance, it would be LeBron's Heat team. And, you know, to me, the biggest chance they would have, if there's a chance in hell, it's probably not fanboys, but would be against the 91 Bulls and the 98 Bulls. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think any of LeBron James' teams, championship teams, could beat any of Michael Jordan's championship teams? Me, myself, I seriously doubt it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. All right.